Charlie. Check out my style. I fall from a lane, girl. Watch me put it down, baby. She on the road, kicking around in my coupe. Me and you just cruising through the town lately. Ask you some questions, can do your mind. What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I change the whole thing. Check out my style. I fall from a lane, girl. Watch me put it down, baby. She on the road, kicking around in my coupe. Me and you just cruising through the town lately. Ask you some questions, can do your mind. What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I change the whole thing. No, I ain't giving up. I made an oath, I ain't giving up. Whoa, we on the phone getting spiritual. Then I remix the flow, getting in the check out my style. I fall from my lane, girl. Watch me put it down, baby. She on the road, kick it around in my coupe. Yeah, you just cruising through the town lately. Ask me some questions, girl, do you mind? What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I change the whole thing. Check out my style, I'm far from a lane, girl, just let me put it down, baby. She on the road, can get around in my coupe, me and you, we just cruising through the town lately. Ask me some questions, girl, do you mind? What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I change the whole thing. Check out my style, I'm far from a lane, girl, just let me put it down, baby. She on the road, can get around in my coupe, me and you, we just cruising through the town lately. Ask me some questions, girl, do you mind? What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I change the whole thing. No, I ain't giving up. No, I made an oath, I ain't giving up. Hey, we on the phone getting spiritual. And I remix the flow, getting in the air. Check out my style. I'm far from a lane, girl, just watch me put it down, baby. She on the road, can get around in my coupe, me and you, we just cruising through the town lately. Ask me some questions, girl, do you mind? What would it take to make it mine, please? Tell me be you and we can try. So I spit true, I taste the whole thing. No, I ain't giving up. Hey, I made an oath, I ain't giving up. Whoa, we on the phone getting spiritual. And then I remix the flow, getting in the
Okay. Hey, shalom. Y'all Bashim Al to all the brothers. Y'all Shema Al Bashim Yal Shah to all the sisters. This is the Isupk Tuesday night Brotherhood class. This is Priest and Officer 50 Maya Shah. And we're going to be going into Brotherhood every Tuesday. You know, Brotherhood is very important for the Israelite community, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because without it, you see the condition we're in, the hell we're in, the condition of the ghettos, barrios, and reservations. That's from a lack of brotherhood. You understand? And in order for our people to rise above and get out of this condition of hell that we're in, we have to follow God's law, statutes, commandments. Now, in doing that, we're also doing what? We're also having brotherhood, because following God's law is being a good brother or a good sister to your brother or sister. Who's that? A fellow Israelite, so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You understand? So, if I could, let me get the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. You understand? Book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. You understand? Understand? We've forgotten how to treat each other, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's why we have to have these classes. That's why they're so important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come in here, learn the law, learn how to treat one another, so that we don't have these shootings, these robbings, these backstabbings that we're having in the ghettos and the barrios reservations, these places where we're at. You understand? Not amongst us anymore. You understand? You got it, brother. Go ahead, read. Oh, slap. Oh, cuz.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God.
Now, a man say, I love God. Now, isn't that the same thing that go on in Christian church? Every Christian church, everybody who wears a cross talking about, I love God, right? But, keep reading.
And hateth his brother.
But while they claim to love God, wear that Christian cross, go to church every Sunday, they still hate their brother. Now, who's their brother in this context? In this context, anybody know?
Shalaki. I would say somebody that's in the church with him, or Israel.
There you go. An Israelite, a fellow Israelite is your brother in this context in the Bible, because it's only speaking about Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Indians.
That's right.
Understand? So a man say, I love God, but hate his brother, hate a fellow black, Hispanic, Native Indian. You understand? Keep reading.
He is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
He is a liar, because you can't love God and hate your brother. Why? Anybody?
Shalaki, sir.
Go ahead.
It's like, it's just using context. It's like we're in a world where we can see our brothers on earth, but God is, as you know, our heavenly Father. So it's like, how can you hate? Like, basically, I'm about to go to the verse. How can you hate somebody that you see every day? You know what I'm saying? But love God that you don't see at all. So.
Right. Well, I'm saying is like, okay,
God.
If you love God, you claim to love God, but you hate your brother,
God.
an Israelite, as a black man,
That's right.
You hate another black man.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that a lie?
Oh, okay.
You
got? Personally, it's a lie, because how can you hate your brother and still love God?
Okay, all right. Well, who's God's children?
Israel.
Right. So God loves his children.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hate God's children,
then you hate God.
There you go.
Come.
Go ahead, keep going.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he have seen,
right?
How can he love God, whom he have not seen?
Right. So, everybody in them Christian churches, Christians everywhere talk about they love God. They love God. All this and that. But they hate their brother. They hate that man at work who looks just like him. The man that lives down the street who looks just like him. Sisters, they talk behind each other's back all the time. You understand? I mean, and all that hate amongst themselves, but they still claim to hate God. I mean, still claim to love God. But they never see God. God ain't here. God ain't here with us on earth. You understand? So how can you love God but hate your brother that you see every day? You understand?
That's right.
It's I don't know how that works. Right. Drop that, brother. Let me get the book of Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. Go ahead, brother. You got it?
Salaki, if I could, what you bring out is so heavy, you know what I'm saying? Because it's no different than, I'm saying, the world, right? Like somebody will be a Muslim, right? And because the Christian, we know everybody that's not in here is a Christian, so it'll be a Muslim, and they talk about how they love black people so much, right? And what's the first thing they do? Sell you heroin, right? You know what I'm saying? Sell you weed, sell you crack, whatever. You know what I mean? Like a Muslim be the biggest drug dealer in Philadelphia,
right?
You know what I mean? But he loves black people so much. Salaki.
So it's the water for that. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Oh, go ahead, brother. You got something? Yeah, go ahead. Matthew 25, 40. Hold on 1 second. Let me get there with you. 2 seconds. Like Officer Tabawan brought out, though, you know what I'm saying? Again, claim to love each other, but still do each other wrong. You understand? Like selling each other drugs. You understand? Or how about brothers on the police force signing up to lock up other brothers? You understand? We do these things. We claim to love each other, but still, you know what I'm saying? We still do these things that hurt one another. And that's not brotherhood. You can't love God and hate your brother. That can't happen. You understand? You got that for a brother. Book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 20. Book of Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. Read.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you.
Now, who's the king that's speaking right here? Who's the king that's spoken of here in Matthew 25 and 40?
So I can serve by me. Yahweh Shah.
That's right. And saying the king shall answer the much and say unto them. Who's he speaking to?
Israel.
Well, in this context, he's speaking to his disciples. You understand? Keep reading.
Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren.
Now see, Christ said, verily I say unto you, surely I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren. You understand? So unto one of the lowest, like say a brother or sister in a low condition, if you've done this to them, keep reading.
Ye have done it to me unto me.
You have done it unto Christ. So whatever you have done to a brother or sister, no matter their position, high, low status, whatever you've done to them, whether it be right or wrong, it's the same as you've done to Christ. Now, in this case, we need to be doing what to each other? We need to be kind to each other, brotherly, sisterly to each other. And that way, when we do that, we're doing the same as to what? Doing the same as to Christ. You understand? You understand? You ready? Oh. And with that, I pass the class over to Priest and Officer Yarma.
Give him a hand. I need that for I got it though. So I'm gonna pull that scripture again. Where that brother was going, it was heavy. I'm gonna try to shed a little bit more light on it if I could, Mike Shaw. You understand? Because a lot of us got this whole ideal about loving God very, very, very misconstrued. You understand? We think about loving God in a very selfish way because Christianity, of course, have taught us to be selfish in our love for God. You understand? How many of y'all have ever heard someone say that they have a personal relationship with the Lord? All of you. All of you have heard it. All of you have heard someone say that I speak to God or I talk to God and God told me to do this. God didn't talk to your aunt, not one time. You understand? Your auntie and your grandmama does not have a personal relationship with the Lord ever. You understand? She never did in her life. And how do you know that she never did? Because of the way that she chooses to live her life. That's the only way you ever know if someone is a bad person, if someone is a good person, if someone is righteous or if someone is not righteous, or if someone loves God or if someone does not love God. The only way you can ever know if someone is actually a child of God or a righteous brother or sister is by what they do. Otherwise, we just listening to a bunch of child molesters say today the children of God. Is that not what we do every Sunday? Is that not what we do when we go in a Christian church and we listen to pastors preach? There was a pastor this last week who just got arrested for molesting a 14-year-old boy in Durham, North Carolina. Now, how long have we been going into his church every Sunday, praise dancing with him, putting money in the pot, having communion with this pastor, and he raping your little boy? You understand? He a child molester and a homosexual at the same time. But he'll tell you that he loves God when we know by his actions that he actually what? He hates the Lord. That's right. He hates the Lord because he'd rather hurt that little boy rather than to fight his own demon because he's selfish. You understand? Read what you got.
Same verse.
Yeah, read it again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, and as much as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Yes, the least of the brother is that 14-year-old boy. You understand? Because he the least. Because right now there's a king. Like right now we in the kingdom of America. This isn't the kingdom of heaven where Christ rules, but we living in a kingdom in which there's a hierarchy, and at the bottom of that hierarchy are us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. It's not a secret. We all know it. We the last hired, first fired. You understand? We getting shot, gunned down in the street. Drug get pushed in our community. We get low income housing developments. You understand? That's what we get. That's what they give us because we at the bottom. But now this is talking to who? This is talking to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
And it's telling you that if you do one of these bad things to the least, you understand? Meaning, even though we're the least in the kingdom, we have brothers and sisters who are high class. We got brothers and sisters who got money, who got a little bit of jobs and got a nice house or live in the suburbs or even, Beverly Hills rather, right? But then you also got brothers who live in Cornwallis. You also got brothers who live in Bragtown, whose mother was a drug addict, whose father was a drug dealer, who they grew up in the slums. You understand? They were raised by the streets, literally were raised by men that was growing up around them. You understand? I remember, growing up, I remember like the bigger brothers that you had was always the dope boy on the block. The niggas that was about 6, 7 years older than you, and you was always the young buck. That story it never changes because that's who we're being raised by. We're being raised in America by drug dealers, you understand, and murderers and pimps and thieves and liars. And that's the life of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And those children are the least. And now this pastor decided that he was going to use his authority or to use his position. Somebody get the name of this pastor so we can go ahead and out him for what he's done. He ain't going to slide that quickly. I know I had to bring him out, Tabawan, if I could. You understand? Because it's happening right here in Durham, North Carolina. I don't know how many times. Tabawan, how long have we been out here? 6 years? We've been out here for 6, 7 years. And for 6 or 7 years, we've been telling everybody in Durham to take your children out of the Christian church. And you know what they say to us? Y'all's preaching hate. Y'all's preaching hate. Y'all need to go get a job. Y'all need to do this. But now there's some boy who is going to have to battle against the torment that he went to being molested by some Christian pastor. You understand? When we told his family, don't take your children in there. That's right. Tabawan, what you got?
Is David Keandre Dixon.
David Keandre Dixon, man. I wish we could put this photo up on the screen, man. When I read that story, I wanted to literally march down to it, not march like IUIC, but of course I wanted to get in my car and drive down to his church and just burn it down, man. Just burn it to the ground because it deserves it. Because of how much they hate black people, man. Because of how much they hate God's chosen people, and they show it through their actions, man. Which is why the Bible is telling us that if you do it to the least of my children, keep reading. Who is reading? Uh-huh.
Ye have done it unto me.
Ye have done it unto me. What that pastor need to understand is that he gonna have a hell of a price to pay. You understand? Like imagine somebody trying to harm the Lord. Imagine somebody thinking in their mind that they could molest the Lord or molest the angels of the Lord. That's what that pastor just thought he could do. Because he didn't understand that baby belonged to the Most High. He didn't understand, just like the drug dealers. They don't understand that the people that they selling crack to, the people they giving heroin to, those people belong to the Lord. You can't just do what you want to them. You can't just harm them because you feel like you can. You can't just manipulate them and rob them and put them in hellish conditions just because you have the power to do so. Because those people don't belong to you. Hell, you don't even belong to yourself. You understand? But these are God's chosen people, and you cannot treat them any way that you feel like you do or want to, because if you do that to them, it's like you're doing it unto the Lord. And now that pastor, he gonna have a hell of a price to pay. He gonna have to pay double or triple. You understand, for what he did to that little boy. Keep reading.
Verse 41.
Uh-huh.
This is book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 41.
Uh-huh.
Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil.
I think we missed something. Did we not miss something, Maisha? Or did we start too far down?
Yeah.
We started at verse 40? Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Read verse 40 again.
And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
And that's the end of 40.
Yes, sir.
No sweat. My point is this, right? because we claim that we love Yahweh, we claim to love Jesus Christ all up and down the Christian church. But how do we know that Christ loved the Lord? How do we know it? Young man.
Was it because he kept the laws, like statutes and commandments, sir?
Nope. You don't know Christ. What you was in Christ's bedroom when he was or not bedroom. You was in Christ's living room when he wasn't eating shrimp. Nah, you weren't there. You understand? Was you there? Was you there when Christ sneezed and he said, "Nah, don't say bless you. We don't do that." You weren't there for that. But what did Christ do? What did Christ show you? Which is how you know he loves the Lord. And not that you're wrong, right? Christ did follow the law. He taught us to follow the law. But there was something else that he did that showed you he loved the Lord. Come on.
Like he showed the spirit of the law.
Nah, not the spirit. That's not what we want here. You understand? Come on.
Was it because he paid the price by dying for us?
Yeah. Let me go ahead, young man. I want to see you on it.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Well, y'all are correct because he loved his brothers. You understand? Like you didn't think that Christ was one with the Most High because Christ drove a Bentley. That's not why you think the Lord favored Christ. You don't think that Christ is the child of God because he got a big cathedral and a big holy temple and a Coliseum bigger than the Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta. That's not why you say that Christ was with the Lord. Because Christ was a poor man. Christ was poor. He didn't have no. Christ said this. Christ said, "Foxes have foxhole and birds have nests, but me, I have nothing." He said, "I don't have a place to lay my head." That's what Christ said. That's how poor of a man he was. And yet we look at him today as the closest thing to the Lord. And so now where did it change? Where did it switch? Where did money mean that you was with God? Where did success mean that the Lord was on your side? Where did having a nice house and a Bentley and a beautiful family mean that surely God was with you? Something changed. Come on, what you got?
The Christian church.
Of course. You understand? Christianity changed something that was natural to something very unnatural. Now we look at money and power as godliness, which is why all of you are so worked up over Deion Sanders. You're so worked up over Deion Sanders because you expected righteousness out of a football player. You expected righteousness out of a nigga who could run fast. What did you expect him to do? Did you expect him to stand strong and sacrifice and to not have money and to not take $4.5 million a year to go coach at a different school? What did you do? What did you think? You understand? Of course he was going to do that because it's hard to do what Christ did. It's actually hard to actually love black people. It's hard to do that. It's easy to say I love black people. Well, that's easy. All of you do it. All of you can say, "Oh, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. No justice, no peace." And then you leave that no justice, no peace rally and you cause havoc in your own community. You're the one who is the problem in your own community. You put the pack down a couple blocks right near the protest. After the protest is over, you go pick the pack up and get back to work. And you create more dope boys, more cocaine heads, more crack heads, more heroin addicts every single day in your own community. You understand? But then on Saturday when the rally comes, you out there, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But of course not the ones that you think don't. Of course not the ones who you think are low. The ones who you think are worthless. You look at homeless people and the drug addicts and you think they're nothing. You think that they have no power, they have no money, they have no resources, they're not worth a damn, and you spit on them. You spit on them when Christ would have saved them, man. Christ died for them brothers outside that's sleeping in the rain. Christ died for them sisters outside sleeping in the cold who can't provide for their children, who can't provide for their families. You understand? Who fall victim to drug abuse because they hurting, because they dying on the inside because of oppression and poverty that has been placed on them. Christ gave his life for them. But yet the Christian church, they don't give nothing back to those people. They don't care about the poor and the fatherless. They don't care about the hurt and the damned in this place. You know who they care about? Kyrie Irving. That's who the Christian church cares about. The Christian church cares about Kanye West. That's what gets their panties in a bunch. Oh my God. Kyrie Irving said he's an Israelite. Oh, Jesus. Christ is coming back now because some rich idiot said that he's an Israelite. That's what they care about. Prestige, money, success. When Christ didn't give a damn about none of that. Christ told a rich man to sell everything you had and give it to the poor. So why the hell we supposed to be caring about Kyrie Irving? He ain't did nothing yet. You understand? He better buy that Mercedes stadium for us for the Passover. Then I might say something about it. He wants some respect. He better do that. Pay his tithes on that $200 million he got. Pay his tithes on that. You understand? And most importantly, he better come sit down in all black with them black boots, braids, and beards, or whatever hairstyle he got. That's all I got for him. You understand? But you know that Christ was one with the Lord because of how he treated you. You understand? Which is what this scripture is talking about. Now, we could drop that. Any questions? Well, somebody give me Zephaniah 2 and 1, then I'll take questions if there are.
I got it.
What? You got a question or you got the scripture?
Scripture.
All right, hold that. Also, someone could pull the scripture that we left off from last week. You give me Zephaniah 2 and 1. Read.
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Gather yourselves together.
Ye,
gather together. O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired. You understand? Who is this talking about? Salaki. Somebody break this down. Salaki, I don't want you to take the class. Come on, sir.
Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about Israel. Basically, when we were like scattered, I guess you could say.
Go ahead. You break it down more plainly, man. I'm a Christian. I don't know what this is talking about.
All right. Basically, this verse is talking about after we were scattered.
Come on, speak it to the mic. Speak up.
After we were scattered, basically, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians were supposed to gather together. That's basically what the verse is talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why do we have to gather together? You said it, but I want you to elaborate a little bit more. Like for a Christian, I want you to paint the picture for them so they can see it, so that they can understand. Because of course, Christians never read the Bible before; they don't know it. They don't understand why this is. When they read this, they think, "Oh, hallelujah!" You understand? Harambe, everybody come together in love and peace and hold hands with all oppressor and Chinese people. That's what they believe when they hear this, right? But of course, that's not what this is talking about. So break it down.
All right. So basically, when okay.
Come on.
So basically, so that if we gather together, it would prepare us for the Lord, like the day they return, the Lord.
I need. Anybody else want to take a shot at it?
Khan, I say. I say that the most people that's not desired on the earth is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Just because people feel like we are of a lower class.
That's true, but I want you to break it down a little bit more in depth according to this time. Like, why is this happening? Like, if I say black people in Durham, stop killing each other, right? Why am I saying that? Because we killing each other. That's why I'm having to say it, right? I don't have to say black people in Durham, stop giving me all your money all the time, because of course that don't ever happen. I wish that'd happen, but it doesn't happen. So there's no need to say it. But why is this being said?
Because that's the image that we're portraying upon each other. Right?
Not an image. Come on, Justin.
I would say because we fit the curses, number one, of everything that's going on here in America. So it's like us going through those curses, it's only right that we come together. because all we got is each other, really, because the struggles that we face.
You jumping ahead a little bit, right? I want why is this being said?
Like it, sir.
Uh-huh.
Because we're separate.
Because we're separated. That's why this is being said. This has to be said because you think that the Mexicans are different people. That's why this has to be said. Because you thought that the Southern Kingdom believed that the Northern Kingdom was against the Lord, or they had fallen off, right? While in actuality, we had all warred against the Lord. And we thought that we were better than the Northern Kingdom. We thought that the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans and the Native Indians, we thought that they were nothing, that they were nobody, you know, they was this whatever. And that the Benjamites and the Judites and Levites, that we were everything. The Southern Kingdom, you understand, or the Jews, right? That's what we believed. And so Christ is telling us to do what? To gather back together. Because even though we think that the Mexicans are beneath us, or even though we think that the Native American Indians are nothing anymore, what do we all have in common?
Like you, sir.
Oppression. We all have in common is that our oppressor hates all of us.
That's right.
They are out to murder all of us. The Native American Indians are being pushed on reservations and into those reservations, just like we're getting pushed off of our projects and out of our neighborhoods, what they call gentrification. You understand? It's the same thing. And they keep pushing us and pushing us and pushing us until we get into more condensed, more overpopulated, more harsh situations. And then eventually we do what? We die. We either live long enough to make it to prison and become slaves in America, or we die. Which either way is a win-win for the all oppressor, isn't it? You understand? Which is what they try to do. Now imagine if we decided that the Native American Indians were our brother. Imagine if we decided that the Mexican sisters were our sisters and that we were one people. Well, then we'd be able to get a lot of things done here. I don't know if somebody might need to look up the numbers, but I don't think we beat the minority anymore. You understand? Because we be a nation again that is not separated, but we be a nation that is together, which is what the Bible is telling us to do. You understand? To go and bring the 12 tribes of Israel back together. You understand? Under Christ. You understand? As the Bible says, read. Or somebody had their hand raised? Come on.
Shalaki, I was gonna say that basically how you say it's separate. It's like we in these different religions and the Christian church, just the different denominations, as well as, you know, that's how we're separated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Like the thing about separation is that it's caused by, for one, lack of leadership. And that's something that we've never had in the Black community since we've been here in slavery. We've never had righteous leadership. We've had leaders. We've had men who have absolutely thought to have cared for Black people. You understand? Like a brother that I always try to give small amount of props to is a brother named Malcolm X, for what I know. You understand? Now, of course, Malcolm X was a brother who was in a disgusting religion. I mean, damn. I mean, his whole faction and everything was absolutely terrible. I mean, have you seen the movies, the documentaries? Have you read anything on it? It was absolutely horrendous. You understand? The way that they ran their organization, the hatred that they had, the strife that they had for a brother, and including Malcolm X. You would have thought that they would have had all kind of love for Malcolm X, all kind of compassion on his brother for what he had to go through, for the things he was doing for the Nation of Islam. But because he was growing so big, and because he wanted to actually use the nation to actually help Black people, to defend Black people, you understand? They murdered him for it. They murdered him the same year that they brought what's the brother's name? Muhammad Ali. The same year Muhammad Ali said that he was a Muslim. If not the same year, the year right after. You understand? And that's the fruit of the Nation of Islam. That's all that the Nation of Islam has ever produced. A bunch of murderers, drug dealing, crack dealing, prison sitting, just a disgusting religion. And why is that religion a disgusting one for Black people? Because it wasn't made for Black people. How you gonna follow a watered down religion from Middle Easterns? You following after a religion of a people that hijack planes and crash in the towers. And you think that that's the God you're supposed to serve? That's the God that you're supposed to give to your people when your people are already bat hell crazy? They already toting guns. They already ready to shoot. And you going to give them Allah? You going to make them pray 5 times a day, scream outside on Fayetteville Street, and then go do what? What, go be peaceful? What, Ishmael was a peaceful person? No. You understand? You giving them a spirit of a wild man, as the Bible calls him. You understand? Ishmael was a wild man. Ready to do everything. That's why it's funny now. You look at the Middle Easterns, they be out there with them leopards and they got tigers rolling around. They be in the Rolls Royce with a tiger in the front seat. Like, nigga, you's a wild nigga. Like, the hell wrong with you? That's them. And the Bible calls him a wild man. They building towers. They getting ready to build a new project. I forget what it's called, but it's like a tower that is the size of 11 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. And they about to build 2 of them back to back right beside each other. Like, they just pushing the limits of normality because they a wild man. You understand? But who had their hand raised? Nobody? Read that again.
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Gather
yourselves together. Ye, gather together. O nation not desired.
And so coming together means that we can't come together under different religions. We can't follow after Numeral G Ali. We can't follow after Kemetic. We can't follow after Christianity or baptism, because none of these things are going to gather our people together, because it's always deniable. How I'm going to follow after being African and I don't even know what country I come from? There's over 64 countries in Africa. But what tribe do we actually come from? Or where are the Africans that actually say we belong to them? Where are the Africans that are here that say that we're supposed to be? My whole life, I've always seen black people wanting to be African. I've never seen Africans that wanted to be us. And my mom is married to one. My mom is married to a Nigerian. You go ask him, hey, Victor, are you black? No. Victor, are we the same people? No, we're not the same people. And he studies the Bible. He tries to debate with me. He's stupid as all hell. I don't know why he ever tries to do that. But he tries to debate with me, and he would even tell you that he knows that we're not the same people. But yet black people always want to be them. Who else do we want to be? We wanted to be Jackie Chan. What was that, the 80s? 80s, 90s? We just had to be, I mean, you know Wu-Tang Clan, right? They just had to be Kung Fu Shaolin, right? Because in America, we don't have an identity of our own. So we'll go and worship after the Buddhist god, and we'll get shrines and temples after their temple, after their gods. And we'll go and worship after the Egyptian gods. Everybody wants to be Egypt. Everybody wants to be the Egyptian pharaoh. When if we all went back to Egypt, who's going to be the pharaoh? You? Ooh, it's going to only be one. So who the pharaoh? Who's the peasant? Who's the peasant of Egypt? Who's the commoner of Egypt? How did the commoners live in Egypt? Come on, we want to be Egypt so bad. We want to be our oppressors so bad. We want to be Chinese so bad. We want to be all of these different religions so bad, but we only take the height of those people and we attach it to ourselves, never the low. You understand? Egypt was a nation that was drug inflicted. I mean, drug inflicted and hooked on pornography like you could never imagine. Yeah, pornography was back there in Egypt. Yeah, big time. You understand? All over on them walls and on them papers that they have. Go look it up. You understand? But no one wants to claim that part. When if you're from Egypt, then that should be your ancestors, right? Baptist Church was funded by who? All of y'all know somebody is Baptist.
Salaki, wasn't like the Roman Catholics, wasn't it them who
think about here in America, who heavily funded the Baptist Church?
The oppressor?
He did, yeah, the oppressor, but I'm talking about a specific group of people. Right, Shaw? No. I mean, yes, with their support. But someone who would make this answer come to fruition from what we're talking about. If you don't get it, I'll give it to you. The Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan heavily funded the Baptist Church. You understand? Remember, the Ku Klux Klan is a Christian organization, which is why they did what? They burned crosses in your yard, and they would light it on fire, and they would torment you every day in the name of who? White Jesus. They would do it in the name of white Jesus. So how are we going to go and be Baptists? How are you going to go and be Baptist in the Christian church when you got people who hate you? You understand? Who gave you that religion and would burn crosses in your yard to torment you. But now you're going to go be a Baptist? We have to wake up to all of these lies that America has pushed on us. To all of these lies. Like, of course, all of these nations will give us anything because they want us to serve them. They want us to serve their gods and to adopt to their culture and to eat their foods and to listen to their wisdom and to learn their sciences. Why? Because if we're learning their sciences and their wisdom and their religions, well, then we'll always be what? We'll always be second-class citizens to the people you have to get the knowledge from. You'll always be second-class citizens to the people you have to go to get the wisdom from. How do you know how to be a Buddhist monk? Can you be a black super Buddhist monk without Chinese Buddhist monks? No. Otherwise, you're just a fake. You're just a fake Buddhist monks. And guess what? The real Buddhist monks, they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about you thinking that you shaving your head, walking around and breathing. This nigga thinking breathing techniques here. He a Buddhist monk all of a sudden. They don't care about you because you ain't no Buddhist monk. Just like who? Just like white Christians don't give a damn about you. Martin Luther King says so himself, the most segregated day is Sunday. Why? You all serving the same God. Y'all all going to church, right? With a pastor and a bishop and a deacon and a choir and gay choir directors and dancers and a pot that passes around with money. It's the same setup. But them white Christians don't give a damn about you and your attempt to serve their God because you're just a slave. You're just a second-class citizen. You understand? It's like crumbs falling off my table and my dog's eating it. I don't give a damn if my dog eating a steak like how I ate it. Because I know if he gets steak, it's going to come from who? It's got to come from me. And the second I don't want him to have steak, guess what? He'll go back to dog food. And the second I want to put carrots in his bowl, guess what? He'll eat carrots. The second I want to put whole weight greens and rice and then add chicken wings into his bowl, guess what he's going to eat? Everything I put into it. And I don't care if he loves it. I don't care if he barks and says, oh, I want more. I don't care if the nigga speaks. I don't care if the dog says, owner, I want more steak. It's up to me whether I give it to him or not. And that's what black people have put themselves. That's the position that we put ourselves under our oppressor. You understand? Which is why the scriptures say what? That we would be in want of all things. But we have to come back together to the truth. First, we have to learn our identity. It's not good enough no more to say that we African or we African originated. Who are we now? It's not good enough to say that we Asiatic or we the original man. Who are we now? You understand? We can't say we African American, which was a coin term by Jesse Jackson. Such an idiot. You understand? That doesn't make sense to be a part of two different continents. You understand? Like my mother's husband, I've never heard this nigga say that he was an African. He never say that. If you ask him, what's your nationality? He gonna say, oh, my name is Victor Oladipo Gambito, and I'm from Nigeria. That's what he gonna tell you. He can date his heritage back. You understand? He can go all the way back. His family's still in Nigeria right now. He ain't nothing but a scam artist, like the rest of them stinking Nigerians, man. If you got a sister or a woman and she talking about she dating a Nigerian, tell her get the hell away from him. He a damn scam artist, man. And that's out my own mouth, man. Right here, right now, telling you the truth from what me and my family knows to be absolutely true. You can take with that information what you want. You understand? Drop that. Any questions? Questions online? Who got the last scripture we left off last week? Whoever get it, just read it. Mm-hmm.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Remember them which have the rule over you,
Uh-huh.
who have spoken unto you the word of the Most High,
Uh-huh.
whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Now, in the last class, we was talking about leadership and how and what righteous leadership is. And righteous leadership, you're gonna have to remember the men who taught you the truth. You understand? Because in this life, we raised up under men who eventually get old. We're raised by strong men who eventually become weak. And then in their weakness, we think that we seek opportunity to take position. We seek opportunity to overthrow. It's natural. It's natural for warriors to think that way. It's natural for wicked people to think that way. And that's what we are. But the Bible tells us, you understand? Read it one more time. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Remember them which have the rule over you. Don't be so quick to try to outrank them. Don't be so quick to try to be better than them. You understand? Don't be so quick to think, oh man, I'm young. Oh, that nigga, man, he old, man. What he gonna do in this Hebrew academy? He ain't gonna do nothing. I'm better than him. Don't be that type of brother. You understand why? Why should who knows why you shouldn't be that type of brother?
Lucky. Brotherhood for one.
Yeah.
And then for two, hold on.
It would be nice for you not to speak that way, but what else?
Yeah.
Think about the sons who grow up hating their fathers. Think about them who grow up hating their father, and one day their father fall down the step and now he can't move like he used to. His hands ain't as strong as they used to be. His voice ain't as powerful as it used to be when you was 12 years old. And there's some of those brothers who resent their fathers because he did a little too many push-ups. Oh Lord, you had to run just a little bit too much. Oh God, now you hate your dad. And now they go and think to try to fight with their father or try to kill their father. Think about why would you not want to do that? As stupid as that is. It's right in front of your face.
It's lucky.
Brotherhood. It's brotherhood, but a little bit more simpler than that. They brought you up, and of course you want to pay your respect. I mean, even if they didn't pay your respect, of course, you got some fathers who are barely in their children's life. Not there. You got some fathers, of course, in every child's head, their parents are terrible. Every single one. You got parents who live in Beverly Hills, who has a guest house the size of the White House. And the children in there who have Lamborghinis at 16 think that their parents are terrible. Every child just thinks that because children are stupid. That's what they do. That's what they are. That's what they do. But one day, guess what? I don't want to give it to you, but I'm gonna walk you down it. One day, as you hate your father, one day you'll do what? You'll say what? And one day you'll have children of your own. And you don't want to hurt your father because you don't want what? You don't want your children to hurt you.
That's right.
You understand? You don't want your children to resent you. You don't want your children to be angry with you because you didn't have enough money for the new Xbox. What was that? It was some 13-year-old boy that just killed his mom over a goddamn VR. Come on. You got to be better than that. You understand? Because one day, Lord allow that son, he gonna grow up and he gonna have children, and he may be poor like his mother, or maybe she wasn't poor. Maybe she felt like he was a terrible bastard, which I'm sure I'll be on the side of guessing that he didn't deserve it. But maybe he'll have children one day that he'll feel like they don't deserve the new PS16 or whatever at that time. You wouldn't want your child to come and take up arms against you, so why would you take up arms against them, right? And that's the same thing it is in the truth. You got men that raise you up. You got men who, when you walked into these doors, you didn't know nothing. You ain't have nothing. Now you in here like, man, what the hell is all of this? The hell is these words up here? These little lines and scribbles. And then you come in here on Friday and you get it broken down by Officer Thabawan, who teaches a hell of a Lashawan Quadash class, man. You get it broken down by this brother right here. You understand? Don't ever forget that. Don't get on Facebook like some slut and like some whore and say, Shalom, the UPK don't got the truth. Bitch, how the fuck you know Salakia? Salakia for my language. You hoe. How the hell you even know to say Shalom? How the hell you got a name? My name is Judah Yisrael. You hoe. And you gonna try to disrespect the school that taught you what Judah was? The 12 tribe chart came from One West. How the hell you gonna claim to be a Benjamite and you some fake Israelite? How the hell you gonna claim to be a Levite and you are some fake Israelite group? You understand? You a hoe, and you shouldn't be a hoe. You understand? Don't be that type of brother. You want to take the knowledge that you gained from here. You want to go start. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Wow, I seen that video of Nathaniel. Nathaniel was the biggest hoe there is, the biggest gay hoe. I don't even know how that's possible. This is a gay hoe. I'm gonna say, well, the brother asked him in the interview, well, if you was in One West, what made you go and start your own group? And he responded and said, well, there was a lot of problems and there was a lot of what did he say, disruptions or a lot of conflict with inside the group, and they were talking about a whole lot of polygamy in there. So you mean to tell me that you left the group, right? Where if you are a brother who wants to only have one wife right? You think about marriage is sacred and holy, and you say, I believe that I'm the type of brother who would in my life only have one woman. Most High in Christ, the hell they got to do with us? Nothing. I don't have control over what you do with your rod and your woman. That's you and your thing. But you mean to tell me that this brother left the truth and created a own organization so that he can control what you do with your rod? Right. So the only reason he left was because brothers was arguing. And then they were talking about all that polygamy. So I left the truth so I could make niggas only have one wife. Don't be a hoe. You understand? Don't be a brother like him. This is nasty. And I feel sorry for them brothers in them purple, man. I feel sorry for them brothers who gotta pay $2,500 on payment plans just to get that gay purple garment and to walk in the streets and sing gay songs. I feel bad for them because in sincerity, they believe the nonsense that their leader teaches them. They believe the nonsense that their leader pushes for them. And wait until the evidence comes out where Bishop Nathaniel himself said on camera that what the ISUPK teaches about multiple wives is correct. We just don't teach that here. Wait until you hear that hoe say that. And then you'll understand why he's a hoe. You understand? But don't ever forget the men that come before you. Don't forget One West. Don't forget Tazadakia and Ariyah and Rakar and what's the other general? Salagi. Shar, right? Lahab, Yeshaya, Khan. That's not one of the 7 heads. Abba Bibbins, right? Even though they're not in the truth, right? They laid the footprint down for us to be in here. You understand? And so you shouldn't forget them. What you about to say? You shouldn't forget them. And then of course, Muhammad, Commander Junior Yohana, that's damn sure. You understand? You may think that he getting old. You understand? Don't forget those brothers because they taught us the truth, right? And also the men that's above you, the men who outrank you, the men who have rank or have position in certain departments or given a level of authority. Don't have strife with those brothers. You understand? Because that's not becoming a good leader. Because if I hate Tabawan because Tabawan got ranked, or Tabawan got the Lashwan Quadaj class, and I feel like I'm supposed to be the one who teaches the Lashwan Quadaj class, then eventually I'm going to have a class. And then one of you brothers is going to hate me. You understand? And that's not what we want. That's not what we do here in this school. Go ahead, finish reading. Uh-huh.
Who have spoken unto you the word of the Most High.
Uh-huh.
Whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh Shah Mashiach the same yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and today.
What time we got?
And forever.
Okay, no sweat. All right, drop that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into a topic for my brother Tabawan, man. I'm gonna get into it, brother. We're gonna get on the topic that most. I usually don't like talking about this topic, but due to popular request, I'm gonna get into it. So, I'm gonna give me Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 26. If anybody got any questions, whether it's on topic or off topic, just raise your hand. It could be about anything. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If not, I'll send it up.
Got it.
You got it?
Done.
Come on.
This
Now, what we're gonna get into right now tonight is the women's scriptures. That's what we're gonna get into, right? Because of course, I know our sisters, man. I know how it is. I know how it is. Trust me, I understand. But the same way we got to correct our brothers, the same way we got to tell our brothers to not be a liar, to not be a drug dealer, to not be some kind of drug addict, and to be an abuser, not to put your hands on sisters. We also got to teach our women, you understand, the truth of how they should conduct themselves according to the Bible as well. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to grow. That's the only way our children are going to be able to succeed in this place is if we correct the whole body. You understand? We can't just correct the arm and we can't correct the right arm and it's still cancer in the left. That cancer just going to spread. You understand? And then the body will die eventually. So give me Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And I find more bitter
Uh-huh.
than death the woman,
Uh-huh.
whose heart is snares and nets,
Uh-huh.
and her hands is bands.
I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands are as bands. Someone break it down. Someone try to take a shot. Now, as a sister, these scriptures, these are things that you should not be. These are things that when you hear these scriptures, you should say, you know what? I should not be that type of woman. I shouldn't be like that. I should be opposite of this. Or this is the type of woman that I am. And I don't need to be like this anymore. You understand? But what does it mean? Someone want to take a shot? Officers? What does it mean that her heart is as snares and nets? My Shaw?
It's like, sir, if I could here, her heart being her mind is a snares and nets. Snares and nets mean they trap. You know
right. What do you do with snares and nets? You capture things. And what happens after you capture what you were hunting or what you were fishing? What happens with the thing that you captured and your snare and then your net? You could, right? You could devour it. What else could you do? What in its totality do you have over what's inside that net?
Selective.
Mm-hmm.
Power.
A different word.
Control.
You control what's inside that net. And as a woman, you should never want to control your man. You should never want to force your man to come home. You should want your man to just come home because he wants to. You should never force your husband to not go into that UPK class. You should never do that. If he doesn't go, you should let him be a man and make that decision, man. You understand? You don't want to force him to do this or force him to do that because he'll start to resent you for it. He'll start to hate you for it. You understand? I just made a post the other day. A man cannot have power over his wife unless she gives it to him. That's the only way you have power over a woman. You understand? You may see some of the brothers who could say something to their wives like, hey, I need you to go ahead and go to the office Staples and print out 1,000 flyers and then go to the food line, get the food so that we can make the bread for the Sabbath service and get the turkey and cheese so we can have the bread to pass out to the homeless at camp. And the woman, count on one concept, right? Count on one con, my Lord, or whatever she say, right? She may just say yes, okay. And you may look at that and you say, damn, how the hell how you got control over your woman like that? How you get her to just act like that? My woman would have cursed me the hell out talking about sending her somewhere. First thing she would have said is, your feet work, nigga. First thing my lady would have said to me. You understand? But the only reason a brother could have control over her woman like that is only because she gave it to him. It's not because you beat her upside the head. That's not how you get control. That's how you get prison time. For all of you who probably don't understand how that works, you understand? I know you want your woman to fold your laundry. I know you do, brother. I understand. I know you want her to cook you dinner and cook you breakfast. I know you want her to, to shut her mouth when your company is over so you don't look like the bee that she makes you look every day when nobody's there. I know you want that, but putting your hands on her is only going to make you somebody's bee in prison. You don't want that. It'd be better for you to just be wise, right? And choosing a woman that you lay with and choosing how you deal with her. But as a sister, that's not the type of relationship that you should want. You understand? You should want your husband to rule over you. And you should give him that authority because God has given him that authority. But as a brother, you can't take it. You understand? And so now, a man cannot have power over his woman unless she gives it to him. But as a sister, you should give that power to your man because a king that does not have rulership over his kingdom, he may go find another kingdom to conquer. That's just nature. That's natural. I can't get this woman to do nothing. Now, again, this doesn't mean that your woman is a slave. This doesn't mean that you come home, kick off the boots, hey, spit shine my shoes, get on all fours and go do this, go do this, go do that. That don't mean that. You understand? You got a wife, that's your partner. Y'all work things out as a unit. You understand? But if you got a woman who you can't get to do nothing, you can't get to make grits, you can't get her to do a damn thing, Well, sis, don't be surprised when you find him texting Taquana. Don't be surprised when you see him texting somebody else, because you may have had a man who really only wanted you. But the problem is that you never gave yourself to him. You had sex with him, but you didn't give yourself to that man. You didn't yield your authority to him. And so now, like any real man is going to go search for authority. He gonna go get it. Especially if you one of my wives, you got another thing coming. I think we all know that by now. I'm a rule over something. You understand? So you better let it be. Read it again.
So like you said, it's a little bit more after that.
Come on.
Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
Whoso pleases God shall escape from her. Again, you please the Lord and you're gonna escape from that woman. Like we tell brothers, right, and sisters, that when you come into the truth, sex is marriage. The person that you lay down with is your wife or your husband, and you have to stay with them for the rest of your life. Right? Now, what if a brother comes into the doors, and this is first time hearing that, and he been with a white girl, right? And of course, we know that sleeping with our oppressor is a sin. What happened with his wife, or for that white woman?
So like you said, that's still his wife.
That's still his wife. You gotta keep him. If a woman comes in here and is married to a heathen man, right? You got to keep him. You got to stay with him for the rest of your life. You understand? But now, here's the flip side. Here's how the Lord work. This is the beauty in the Lord. What they say to Christians? The glory of God. This is it. Now, you got that heathen wife, that white woman. Well, you can't leave her. You know, you can't put hands on her. Don't beat her. Don't do that. You got to love your wife. Love her. You know, have sex with her. Kiss her on the cheek. Say, have a good day at work, baby. Give her some money if she needs some money. Right? But then play General Hyman's class on TV every single day when he says that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Do that. Right. You can do that. You understand? Take all of the Christmas decorations out the house and say, if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you're going to take that back to Devil Land with the rest of your family. That's not a sinner. You can say that. That's just the truth. Now, we're not celebrating Christmas this year. Woman, if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you're going to have to go find somebody else to do. Eventually, guess what she'll do? She'll go have sex with the man that she been having sex with the whole time, but now she'll let you find out about it. Now she'll purposely leave her phone unlocked so that you can see that she been sleeping with Darnell at the slave. You understand? And then when she sleeps with Darnell at the slave, you can say, oh, okay, damn, that's terrible. No sweat. Salakia, General Hyman, I'm in need of a rib that's in the UPK. You understand? And you can start over. But you're not going to be able to start over if you continue to celebrate Christmas. Wow. If you continue to celebrate Christmas, or you continue to celebrate Halloween and the 4th of July, then you are doing nothing, but you are just being comfortable in that net that she caught you in, which is why the Lord said that we shouldn't sleep with heathen nations, because we would fall victim unto their gods and their religions. But the same thing for even our own sisters. You understand? We have to be strong enough to say that, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm not celebrating what you celebrating. I'm not eating that turkey on Thanksgiving. I'm not eating that ham on Christmas. You understand? And one or two things is going to happen. One or two things is going to happen. She either going to yield to you and start to learn what you learn, or she going to leave. I know there's a famous story in UPK about a brother. I won't mention his name, but there was a sister who she was learning in the truth. She was just a young woman, and she was learning, and she was getting the breakdowns. And I think one year she had came up for the Passover, and throughout her whole time of her learning, her husband hated the truth. Her husband hated it. Like he why are you going up there with them niggas? Why are you being up there? Because of course he thought, you know, she in here with a bunch of rowdy rebel gangsters up in here. They look like they about to do whatever to my woman. So eventually, after time, the brother had got on the phone with Captain Tazariak, and Captain Tazariak assured him that, hey, look, we don't do that in here. Your woman is married. She off limits. Ain't no brother going to talk to her in here. You understand? And then one Passover, she had came to the Passover, and she took lamb back home. I almost don't want to say the city because that might narrow it down too badly. I ain't even going to say the city. But she took lamb back home. And when the husband found the lamb, they got into an argument in a fight, and he took the lamb, he slung it out the window. He threw it out. You understand? And he was not trying to hear the truth. He was not trying to go to counsel. He was not trying to do nothing. So who had to go to counsel was the woman. She had to keep calling. Salakia, sir, what do I do? My husband trying to make me order pepperoni pizza. Well, she got to get counsel on how she got to battle that. Salakia, sir, my husband trying to make me do this. But she had to get counsel on how to battle it. And she stayed in the truth. And she stayed her course. She stayed righteous. And eventually, guess what happened?
Salakia, he left.
No. That brother's one of your Adawanyams right now. He a high-ranking man in the Israelite school of UPK right now. One or two things is going to happen. One, he may leave. Or two, he going to step up to the plate. But either way, righteousness is delivered from her snares. You understand? Keep reading. Read that last part.
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
But the sinner shall be taken by her. You keep on living wrong. Like the scriptures say that the portion of a wicked man is, a portion of a wicked wife is as unto a wicked man. And a portion of a righteous wife is as to a righteous man. You got a wicked woman, it's because you wicked. That's all. That's all it is. You got a woman who beat on you and spit on your face and do this, that, and the third. It's because you celebrate Christmas, and you weak. You soft. You don't know how to deal with it. You don't know the truth on how to deal with your sister. You got a wicked husband. You don't know the truth on how to deal with your brother. Because you weak, because we've fallen away from what the Bible has given us so that we can have these marriages, so that we can live amongst each other. You understand? And battle this thing that we've been battling since we was kids, which has always been about boys versus girls. It's always been that. It's always what's that saying from back in the day? Girls are from Jupiter or Pluto and boys is from Mars or something. Venus. Girls is from Venus and boys is from Mars. Yeah. Which mean what? That we stupid, right? Some along the lines, right? But it's always been about us. We got the cooties and all of that stuff, right? But at some point, we have to learn how to mend those disagreements. At some point, we got to learn how to mend those arguments and those things that make us fight one another. Those things that make us hate one another. You understand? And we got to learn how to love each other, just like a brother got to learn a brother, or a sister got to learn a sister. A woman has to learn how to love her husband, and a husband has to learn how to love his wife. And the way you've been doing it is wrong. The way you've been doing it is absolutely wrong, which is why the divorce rate is as high as it is in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. You understand? Read, is there any more on that? Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 20. Again, come on. You got it or you had a question? Ecclesiasticus. If anybody got any questions, just raise your hand. If you got a comment, raise your hand. We got food in the back. Who we got? Who made food? This is right. You made the food? Get a sister a hand, man, for making the food with the water. A Sakawan. Very solid sister in the truth, man. What else we got? That's it. Also, Tabawan, you could, if you don't mind, Baba Gasar, you could let the young men. Yeah, y'all could get down on this. I know it ain't do say like y'all used to, coming out the Christian church. I know y'all all rich and drink Hennessy and do say all the time. But my humble abode, you can have some of this. But who got the scripture I'm asking for? 25 and verse 20. Come on.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 20. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged.
Now, what is this? Like, someone paint the picture for me here. This is go ahead, Maisha. Yeah, a picture of old elderly man. He trying to just climb up a steep mountain, but it's made of sand. And of course, you step on sand, it sinks, it goes in. And so, of course, it's very, very difficult for him to get up on top of that mountain, right? Keep reading.
So is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
So is a wife full of words to a quiet man. You understand? Like if you got a husband, right, who is, and I've seen this so much, right? Now, I'm going to go to the contrary first. On contrary, you have some relationships where the man and woman, they just like to argue. That's some, so for some people that's just normal, right? You just be looking at them like everybody like, yo, is they gonna be okay? Like they about to start fighting each other, and you like, man, they just like, that's just them. They just like fighting each other for whatever reason, not physically, but they just like arguing. Then they go in the back and then they make up and then they come back out like nothing ever happened. Some women, that's just them. But sometimes as a woman, you may have a man who does not like to argue. You may have a man that's like, I don't know if all of y'all know who Ashiyar is, but Ashiyar Rakar, that's a brother who don't talk. He does not speak. So you try to argue with him, you're just going to be talking to yourself the whole time. You understand? But being a woman who is just, you cursing him out. Like, you ever seen the movies with a man, like, y'all ever seen one of the movies where, like, I'm trying to explain it in a way where you can get it. Y'all have seen enough. You've seen enough examples of this where a man is just like really not in the wrong, but because she just blah 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 running her mouth, and then he never gets to speak, and then she ends up leaving mad, and then like trying to explain it in a way. I gotta think of a movie, man. I see it all the time. Come on.
Is it like a Baby Boy? Like in that sense, like is that like a good movie?
I don't know if I would use Baby Boy because Baby Boy was wrong. He wasn't wrong, but he was wrong. Baby Boy should have been a man. Baby Boy should have said, I got Yvette too. I mean, I got Yvette and what's the other girl name? Peanut. Say, I love Peanut and I love you. And that's that. You understand? We about to go get this house and move on. He should have been a man and just been honest. Right? If he was gonna sleep with another woman, he should have said, you know what, I'm sleeping with this other woman. And then if Yvette would have decided to leave because of that, then let her have that choice. Let her be able to make that decision. You understand? But don't be a coward. Don't be the type of brother who you know you sleeping with other women and you just hiding it and hiding it. Every time your phone ring, you putting it down and doing this. Don't be a Christian, especially not in here. You understand? You can't be in here claiming to be One West and rocking these covers that we got and you scared that your woman seeing your phone. Don't do that around me, because I'm going to look at you side. I'm going to be like, nigga, we fighting against Christian religions and guns and battles, and you scared of your woman act? Don't do that. You understand? But now, come on, who has something? Come on.
I say daddy's little girl.
You said daddy's, yeah, exact. Great, give him a hand. That's a great example. Yeah, daddy's little girl, right? Where the brother is clearly right. He not wrong in what he doing, but because of how much she running her mouth, it makes her seem like she's right. So the people that's in the background who don't know this brother, they looking at him like he a terrible guy. They ready to kill him because she, blah, 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 blah. You mother effer this. You ain't this. You be you this. You a terrible father. You ain't doing this for your girls. You ain't got no. And all they hear is her running her mouth and him just standing there like this, right? You don't want to be that type of woman. You got to be able to check yourself when you becoming like that. When that demon is and you should be able to catch yourself and be like, you know what? I'm talking too much. I'm saying a little bit too much. I'm getting a little bit agitated. I'm getting aggravated. I'm getting very emotional. Let me chill out. Let me take a step back. Let me sit down and let me just be quiet. Sometimes as a woman, you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to yield unto your husband. Otherwise, you're gonna run into problems, especially if you with a man in the world. You with a man in the world, what happens next?
Domestic violence?
Yeah, he smacked the hell out of you.
Done.
Why? Because for one, he unlearned. He not in here.
Done.
He don't know that you can't do those things. But he does know, he has the inert ability to know that he's supposed to be the leader. Even in the world, men, they have it's deep down inside of them that they just feel like they're supposed to be the man in charge. And while she's yelling, something in him just clicks and he's like, you know what? This isn't natural. This isn't right. And so he allows his anger to dictate his actions, which is what we can't do.
That's right.
But as a woman, you got to know that you shouldn't vex your husband in that way. Right? Just like as a woman, you don't want to be vexed in certain ways. right? You may be a sister who says, I understand that my man can have multiple wives. But does that mean that you want to go to you want your husband to take you on a date to Olive Garden, or where y'all like to go out to eat, man? I don't know. Red Lobster.
This man is.
Hell no, this nigga, he just went to Red Lobster last night, got the lobster tail and shrimp. It's no sweat, right? Cheesecake Factory. That's a good one, right? I don't know, man. But you want you know, your woman, you want your man to take you on a date to the Cheesecake Factory, and then the waitress coming up to the table and he like, oh, Mom, you so damn fine. And you sitting right there. You sitting there trying to get the bread, and he just spitting game. You wouldn't want that. You would want your man to have some kind of class, to not vex you in that way, because you know that'll hurt you. I mean, goddamn, you already accepting the fact that he got another woman. The least you could do is not do it in front of my face, right? And so as a woman, you got to do the same thing for your man. You understand? You got to accept the fact that my man is the head of the household, that my man is my leader. He's my Lord. He's the one that I submit to. He the one that I'm going to die about. And when to the ends of the earth fall and disappear, he the one whose side I'm going to stand on. And so if that is the case for you in your relationship, then you should treat that man as such. You don't want I don't know no woman that want no weak man. I mean, maybe it is, Stop a one. I don't know. I don't know no woman that want no weak man. But you shouldn't, no man wants to be effeminate or defeminized, man. No man wants to feel emasculated by their woman. And so when you do those type of things, you force that man to go do all kinds of wickedness. You force that man, like a lot of women will try to force their man to have one woman, right? And to only have her. And so she think that she can force him to only have one woman by yelling at him and by going through his phone and by checking him and just threaten him to kick him out the house and things like that. When you do that to your man, you force him. You force some brothers to then do what? They leave out and they go to the strip clubs. They leave out and they go pay $40 for a $40 hoe. Why? Because deep down inside, he wants another woman. That's what he wants. It's not that he doesn't love you. It's that he wants another woman. And because you don't allow him to be a man in the open, he goes and he's going to be a man, but he's going to be a coward in secret. And that only puts you in harm, because now he goes and gets AIDS by some whore. He goes and gets HIV because he's sleeping with some $2 jump off because he wants to exercise his right to be with another woman. You understand? And now you turn him into a whoremonger, right? Now he's a whoremonger, all because he doesn't know how to say, you know, I love this woman and I love you. Both of you are my women. Both of y'all are my wives. This is what we about to do. You understand? But as a woman, you don't want your man to do anything because you forcing him to do it. That's not what I don't even understand how sisters do that sometimes. Like, y'all be arguing with your husbands like, nigga, hell no, you need to come on home. Like, you about to get the cold shoulder when I get there. Like, you think you about to call me a B8 nigga and tell me I'm supposed to come home? What, I'm supposed to walk in the door like, my queen, my goddess? Hell no. You call me a B8 nigga, you better come home. I bet. And it's World War 16 in that hole when I get back. You shouldn't want that. You understand? It'd be better off like a sister who really want her husband to come back. She'll do something like this. She'll say, oh, you're not coming over tonight, but okay, no sweat. I had made all of this jerk chicken and this rice, but I got that Tupperware that you told me to get 2 weeks ago. I guess I'll put it in there. I'm feeling real good tonight too. I've been sipping on this wine. You hear that in the background? She got Anita Baker in the background. She got the mood lights on, the house clean. She got the little Febreze air vents in there. You can smell it through the phone. You smell it through the phone. It smells so damn good. That food coming through, she take a picture, send it to you. Babe, I made it just like how you like it. He gonna get off the phone shaking like, damn, I know I told Thaba Juan we was about to go to Virginia, but I might need to stay home tonight. You understand it? That's what you would rather have, rather than a marriage where both of you really just, the man don't really want to be there, and a woman really just forcing him to be there because of whatever, some kind of image or whatever they trying to protect. But you don't want to do that, and you don't want to be this type of woman that makes it hard for a man to be a man. Let that brother be a man. You understand? And as a brother, let your woman be a woman. You understand? Don't be trying to put your woman out to the curb because she run her mouth too much, or because you think she's slow, or she can't drive, or she's stupid. You understand? The Bible says that all women are the weaker vessel. That's a given. We know that they can't handle the constant pain that we can handle. They know they can't handle the constant pressure that we can handle. We're supposed to be able to take pressure. Where our bodies are built to take pain. You understand? Like there's a very common concept in the school that's taught that if you and your woman are driving, right? Your woman is driving a vehicle, and it's late at night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all been drinking and driving, both of you, and she crashes and kills a baby on the highway. Don't ask me why the baby on the highway at nighttime, but it happens, right? You get out the car, you see that this baby is dead, and you know that's what? That's involuntary manslaughter. You know, that's prison. Ain't no question about that. And it's a baby? Yeah, you gone. Well, as a brother, what do you have to do in that moment? As a brother in the truth. Hold on, who want to answer? Who want to answer? Give it to the young man first.
Salaki, you got to take the fall for it.
You got to take your drunk, stupid wife who can't drive. You have to pick her up while she's crying. And you have to put her in the passenger seat. And you have to buckle her seatbelt. And you have to walk to the front seat of the car, get in the driver's seat. And when the police car comes, you have to tell them that you hit that baby. And you got to go to prison for her. Because she's not meant for prison. She's not meant to take those harsh conditions. And as a husband, that's the price that you pay. I know you love saying, I'm glad I was born a man. Yeah, not in that day. Not then. Now it's time to be a man. Now it's time to step up. It's middle of the night and you hear burglars come inside the door, and they ain't just creeping, they busting shots. You know, if you know anything about armed robbery, most of the time you catch the element of surprise. It's not in the movies, they be sneaking around and doing all the spy versus spy. That's not really how burglaries happen. That's not how it work out. You know somebody in the house. I'm giving y'all information. Y'all don't take this and try to use this. But obviously, Yermak told me to kick the door in. He told me not to pick the lock. Don't do that. But most of the time, they catch the element of surprise. They come in there and they pop 1-2 times. Why? Because you and your pal, you don't know what to do. It ain't like Boys in the Hood where you hear a little something, he just wake up, everything's calm, and he got the chance to go get his pistol because everything. Nah, it ain't like that. You understand? Come on. Yeah. Either way, I'm saying, it was, if he would have came in loud and busted a shotgun off, he probably would have been like, oh shit, get there. He probably would have fell underneath the bed and hid because he thought it was SWAT team, which is why the SWAT team do it like how they do it. There you go. Right? But in that day, who has to get up and go get shot? You do. You got to go fight. You understand? Of course, nobody wants to be born a woman. And you happy. I'm so glad the Lord blessed me to be a man. Not in that day. You understand? Because in that day, now you have to be a man. And as a woman, you want to allow your man to be a man. Not just when burglars are in the house. Not just when you on the side of the road crying because you don't know what to do. Not just when you backed your car into a ditch and now you don't know how to get your car out the ditch. You don't want your man to be the man you want him to be then. Now you want your man to be the man when he comes home from work. You want your man to be the man when he chilling with his homeboys, when he playing with the video game. You understand? You want him to be the man then. And likewise to our sisters, man. You want them to be women. You want them to be sweet. You want them to be kind, and you don't want nobody to touch her. Don't go to the club and say, Maria, whoop her behind. Don't do that. Don't be no type of brother like that, having your woman fight people, because that's not her. Allow her to be sweet, man. Don't let nobody touch her. Don't let nobody touch her. Don't let nobody try to spit game to her. Don't let nobody do nothing to her. They shouldn't even talk to her. We go out to the club. You better not talk to mine. You got another thing. You got a problem. The only thing you can do you can't do nothing but serve them drinks from behind the bar. You understand? And keep your compliments to yourself. That's it. I don't need you telling me, oh, you got a beautiful nigga. Don't close your eyes. You better be blind when you come around me and mine. You understand? and you allow her to sit there, and when she hears something like that, and she just go, and she feel all warm inside, and that tingle go down her spine. She like, damn, I got a real nigga right here. In the world, my other man was trying to get me to have threesomes and trying to get me and to do all this, that, and the third, and hold the pack and hold his gun and go and do this and do robberies with him. I got a man that makes me walk on rose petals. I got a man that treats me like a woman who bathes in milk and honey for 3 days, like Esther. I got a man who want me to be like that, and then now she can step into that role because you allow her to take it. You understand? But likewise, we don't want to force a man to not be a man, and you don't want to force a woman to not be a woman. You understand? Sisters, let your men be men. Brothers, don't beat on your woman. You understand? Because she ain't no man. You understand? Keep reading. Somebody give me Proverbs 11 and 22.
Finish reading Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah, is there any more on that?
No. That was the last part.
What's the next verse say?
The 21st verse?
Yeah.
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Right. Right. When you go to choose a woman, don't just look at her for her beauty, right? Because that thing will trap you. Right. And I get it. I understand, brothers. Like, get the Lord a hand. The Lord done made black women so damn fine. Salakia. Our sisters, y'all be seeing our sisters out? God damn. I'll be out there in Walmart like, damn, this is crazy. The Lord made our sisters beautiful, man. But don't stumble upon that. Sometimes you gotta look past that just for a little bit, if not for a whole lot. And you got to know what a woman really working with. Know what she really dealing with. Like, does she got a mind on her? Is she the type of woman that's going, have be like, you got women who are attention whores. She want to talk to her ex and talk to niggas on Instagram because you ain't been texting her as much. You gotta know what type of woman you really dealing with. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lifetime of problems that you're gonna have to deal with forever, because sex is marriage. And if you married to a dragon, brother, you got a dragon for the rest of your life. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You understand? The same thing again, I'm gonna say this now so y'all understand it for the rest of the class. Brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood. So everything I'm saying about brothers is also synonymous with sisters, as well as choosing your husband, right? When you courting a husband, you got to talk to that man. You got to ask him questions. What would you do in this situation? Like the scenario I just asked y'all, like if you go out in the world and you date a man in the world, you should ask him that scenario. You should say, so let's say one day we get married and we out having drinks, and I'm so drunk that I crash and I kill a baby on the highway. I'm like, what the hell, a baby? You're like, don't ask me why there's a baby on the highway. And you say, so what would you do in that moment? And if he say, shit, you better look at that man. You better say, get up from that table and get on the phone with General Mahiman and say, Salakia, sir, I'm ready to get a real priest and officer in the UPK, sir, because I can't deal with this in the world. I don't want no man that's going to say a shit, and he's supposed to really help me out. He's supposed to be my like you. The nigga want her to call him Lord, and want him to fold laundry. Want her to fold laundry and wash his dirty drawers and all that. But when the time get rough, he talking about some shit. Yeah, no sweat. Come on.
Hey, so like it.
It's
the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 22.
As
a jewel of gold in a swine's snout. So is a fair woman, which is without discretion.
Now, again, back on the beauty, right? A woman can be beautiful, right? And that's a beautiful thing unto the Lord for a woman to be beautiful. And all of our sisters are beautiful. But just like a jewel of fine gold in the nose of a snout, a swine's snout is the nose of a pig. A pig is one of the most disgusting animals on the face of the planet Earth. And it's almost like imagine a diamond, right? And it's in depth into a pile of cow manure. Now, you know but okay, you know the value of that diamond. You can see that diamond. It's beautiful. You know it's in there. But the problem is this. Before you get to that diamond, you're going to have to go through a lot of shit to get to it. And that's a beautiful woman without discretion. You want the beautiful woman. You want the beauty of her. You lust after her. You want to be able to say, this is my woman. You want to walk in the Passover, have her put on a dress, and you want to be like, yeah, this is me right here. You want to do that. But when you take that woman, you're gonna go through a lot of her dressing half naked going to the club. You're gonna go through a lot of her listening to her friends, getting advice on relationship by her friends who done got pregnant 6 or 7 times by 6 or 7 different niggas. You're gonna go through things that don't make sense because she doesn't have discretion. You understand? Somebody get the definition of discretion. And again, synonymous with brothers as well. Someone get discretion quickly.
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is the definition of discretion.
From
the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
It is individual choice or judgment.
She don't have no judgment. You understand? She can't judge. Like I be having to tell my ribs sometime, you know, they'll come to me and they'll ask me, they'll say, Salakia, is it okay if I go out with so-and-so and so-and-so? Right? And I'll ask, where you going? I don't know. Who driving? I don't know. What's this? What's that? Like my mind, I'm thinking about everything. I don't know. I was gonna ride. I was gonna do this. I was gonna ride. I was gonna go. Don't go. Stay home. You understand? And then there's times where I would say go, and then they end up going, and then now my rib comes home talking about, oh, I was at the house, and this is a true story. I ain't gonna tell you which rib said this, but it's a true story. She went to a kickback or whatever, her friend's house from her job or her school or whatever, and she comes home. She's like, I almost got shot. And I'm like, and she like smiling when she said it. And I'm like, I almost said the B word. I almost let it slip. Not because of her, but because I was angry that, you know, my rib would even say something like, what you mean you almost got shot? I'm thinking like somebody tried to kill her. I'm about to get on the phone and make a couple phone calls real quick because I ain't letting that slide, right? So I'm like, what happened? She's like, we were sitting inside the house and my friend's cousin, her male cousin, kept trying to talk to me the whole night. And I'm like, so why didn't you leave? I didn't know. I was just having fun. Okay, so what happened? Well, eventually, one of the friends got real drunk, and she started fighting with 2 other of the friends. And I was like, okay, so why didn't you leave when they started fighting inside the house? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so then what happened? Well, then one of the friends said that she was gonna go get her nigga and come back and air it out. And I'm like, and nothing in your mind said that you should just leave at that point. And in her brain, she said this. This is what she told me. The woman who was about to get the boyfriend to air it out, her little children was inside the house. And in her mind, it made sense for her to take care of the little children inside the house. It made sense to her. In that moment, it made sense for her to hold the hands of the little children who belong to the mother who's coming back to shoot the house up. That's why she needs a husband. That's why. You understand? I know sisters, you may think, you know, you could do a lot of things, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from sisters. A lot of sisters do a lot of great things. Right. You got a lot of great minds. I mean, damn, you sent America to the damn moon. You understand? Have you ever seen Hidden Figures? Not taking nothing away from a sister, but sometimes you need a man to be able to fall back on. Sometimes you need a man to be able to put the blame on. You want to say, you want a man that you can say, you know, should I do this? Should I do that? So that if he say yeah and it go wrong, it ain't on you no more. Now it's on that man that you are married to. You understand? And she needs that. So now, whenever she talk about going out, I'm like, where you going? No, you ain't doing no more houses, right? Until I could trust. Like I had to start. After that, I show her street movies. I remember going, I'm like, now you about to sit down and watch these street movies because clearly you don't know how it work. You don't know how people die from things like this. And she watching the movie. I'm like, you see that? You see this? right? You certain situations, you're gonna have to be able to guide your woman, right, from a lifestyle that she could die trying to live. But that's the job of a man. And as a woman, you should follow the direction from your husband. You should say, and you should be happy. Like, don't be, "Ugh, my man told me that I can't go." You should be on the phone, in that group chat that you all got with all them friends. You say, "My husband said I can't go. Y'all have a good time." And when they say, "Girl, well, he controlling you, he this, you on the leash," you should be like, "Yeah, you're right. But at least I got a man. At least I got a husband that give a damn about my life. I got a man that'll tell me no, don't go." What you got? You got what? 10 men? 10 men that don't care that you be on the stripper pole? Some of y'all be having husbands that know you a stripper and don't give a damn. They in there with the money, throwing the money. I've seen it. They in there. Yeah, that's my girl right there. What? That's your girl. You making OnlyFans with your woman. And those sisters like that, they need a man to tell her to put some clothes on. Right. They need a man. They need a man to tell her, take all of that stuff off OnlyFans. Take it down now. You understand? Immediately, like in the next 0.5 seconds. You need a man to tell you, no, you ain't gonna be no stripper no more. Not married to me. Not with me. You can't do that. You gonna go to school. You understand? And this is where, as a husband, you can start to lead your woman. You can start to say, "You know what, baby? I think I see qualities in you. I see that you like to help people. Your hands is very nurturing. I notice it every time I get bruised up and cut. I could tell. You know what, baby? I looked online, and they got these CNA programs for $300. I saved up $300. I'm gonna pay for you to go get your CNA license." You know, you do that for her. So you say, "Baby, you like to argue a lot, and sometimes you be right all the damn time. So I got this class. I'm gonna send you to law school. You go do that." You understand? You go use your brain because you gifted. You got skills in this. Some women are good at researching. Some women, you be like, "How much is tax return coming this?" "Oh, $3,500 for each child." Damn. How the hell you know that? "Oh, but we getting an extra $1,200 because of the stimulus that got refunded back from last year, back from 2019. How do you know this? She resourceful. She know how to get online. And my rib came to me one time, was like, she getting paid doing surveys. Like, I thought that was a scam my whole life. I always thought that, like, man, that's a lie. It's going like, I always thought that the surveys would be like 1,000 questions. And like in your brain, you getting to the end, but it ain't no end. So you never finish it. I'm like, damn, you finishing them surveys? She resourceful. You could be a peer support specialist. You could be a social worker. You can help people that need to find programs that don't know where to get food benefits from. You can help me. You understand? Find food and outlets so that we can feed Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? You may have a rib that worked in Office Depot where you got resources. I need you to print off these flyers. I need you to do this. I need this. You understand? As a man, as a husband, you got to be able to lead your woman. You got to be able to fill that role of a man and take all of the criticism, all of the glory, and all of the downfall that comes with being a head of a household over that woman. And as a woman, you should allow him to do it. You should allow him to do it. You go in there and you print off 50 flyers for the Isupk and you lose your job. Ain't nobody gonna look at you. They gonna, what the hell is wrong with you? You told her to do that? He gonna be the one getting checked, not you. You gonna say, "I was just following after the counsel of my husband, doing what he said to do." And then that's that. You understand? Read that scripture one more time. Somebody had a hand raised? No? Come on.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman, which is without discretion.
Right. So as a woman, you want to have discretion. We come close to the time. Let me give me Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 10. We're gonna start rolling through these really quickly.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Proverbs.
Yeah, and somebody give me Job 39 and 17 as well.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
Hold on. Well, you could drop this. Well, this is just talking about a woman and her attire, right? What she how she dresses. An attire of a harlot is subtile. Subtile is something that's very cunning. It's something that's very persuasive, right? Okay. Which is why women dress the way that they do. In their mind, they'll tell themselves that they dress half naked because it makes them feel good. It's not true. That's not true. I know we see all of the Instagram models and we see all of that. Don't let Instagram fool you. Those women that's on Instagram are miserable. They are miserable as hell. Why? Because they have to get naked to eat.
That's right.
You understand? Like they got friends who are lawyers. They go to college and they got friends who go out and be great social workers, and friends that go out and be doctors, and friends that go out and be lawyers, and friends that do this and work for the Senate and go to politics and go to the medical center and that. And for them to eat Waffle House, they have to show they behind on a camera. They're miserable. You understand? And so you dress like a harlot, not because it makes you feel good, but because the world makes you think that that's the only need for a woman is her body. That's what the world teaches us, that a woman is nothing more than the body that she could provide, that she's nothing more than sex. You understand? Back in the Roman and Greek times, they didn't even like women. They was gay as all hell. Yeah, Alexander the Great, they were gay. They did not. They on quote said it. The natural use of a woman is for what is it, Tabuan? Childbearing. That's it. That's what they said. They like having sex with a woman isn't enjoyable to them. They said that it's they forced Alexander the Great to have sex with a woman. They forced him to do it so that his legacy could continue. If it weren't for them forcing him, he would have just had sex with men, and Alexander the Great would have been Alexander the Last, and that would have just been the end of that. You understand? But nowadays, because back from slavery time, you gotta remember, back in slavery, we looked at our women as precious. We loved our women. Right. We understand. We took care of our women. It won't none of that whoring our sisters out or after I sleep with her, I'm a passer to the crew. Come on, none of that. None of that going on. But because our oppressor, which is who we look up to as a father figure in this place today, because he looked up to her, because he looked at your wife as a whore, eventually over time, you start to look at her as a whore. You started to look at her as nothing more than bees ain't this but hoes and tricks. Because your oppressor thinks that black women ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. The problem is that in the past, they used to have to rape your woman. Now they don't have to. Now your women dress naked freely. Now they get undressed quick. They get undressed for $4 a month. They get undressed for $30. How much they charge on Glenwood?
Good night.
I know one of y'all subscribed right now. You remember Bethany from high school? Look at this.
Good night.
You understand? But that has been the change. And now we look at our women like such. Now you don't like, now it's like you're finding a woman that actually got a brain. It's like non-existent no more. I don't ever hear about brothers talking about how smart a woman is. It's like, even when brothers talk about like a smart girl is always in college, and the only reason for it is always what? Oh, she could go ahead.
Do homework.
She could do my homework.
That's right.
That's it. You never want to have sex with her. You never say, damn, she's smart as hell. I'm gonna get that. Never that. But you go with the woman who dressed half naked and slutting herself out on OnlyFans, and that's the woman you want. But imagine if we started looking at women like, damn, okay, you can read. You go inside her house and she got books. She got books and she got mathematics and equations and the encyclopedias. Like, damn, you got encyclopedias and things like that, or whatever they, all them books and things like that. And then that be the thing that turn brothers on to sisters. Imagine the decline of whoredom in the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Imagine how many women gonna be like, you know what? I gotta put some clothes on to pick up a book because I want Daquan from down the block. I want Tabawan to be interested in me. I want young man Trey, young man Jay, and these young man Justin and Maya Shaw. I want them to be interested in me, so I got to do what they interested in. Being smart, being kind. You understand? Being beautiful and inside and out, right? Come on.
I was about to say it's 8:52.
Go ahead. What? Go ahead.
It says 8:52.
Oh, yeah, no sweat. You understand? You want to be beautiful inside and out. and not be a woman who fighting and always in the mix and things like that. And that's how you again that'll start to fix the condition of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But the only way we're gonna find that is by coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
By coming back to this Bible, because there ain't nowhere else on earth that teaches us how all women should be. There ain't no place on earth that teaches us how our men should be without fault, except inside these records.
That's right.
Except inside the Bible. Who holding something for me?
Somebody holding Job.
Somebody got Job chapter 30 and verse 17.
This is Job chapter 30, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
My bones are pierced in me in the night season.
39 and 17. Salaki. Also, somebody give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
This is Job chapter 39, verse 17. This is Job chapter 39, verse 17. Because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding.
Mm-hmm. Because what? Because go ahead. No sweat. I'll let y'all fix it. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Come on, read. You can read it again.
Okay. This is chapter verse 18. Verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
What time she lifteth herself on high.
Mm-hmm.
She scorneth the horse and his rider.
Oh, verse 7. No, read verse 17 again, Salakia.
Because God hath deprived her of her of wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
neither hath he imparted to her understanding.
And so now, as far as like our sisters, the Lord has deprived them of wisdom. What does that mean? What is this talking about?
Depriving her of wisdom, not giving her that the right way to put things in order.
For time's sake, I'll give it to you, right? The ability of choosing right from wrong. The Lord has deprived her, is lessened her in that regard. Why? Why did the Lord do that?
So like I said for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's because the household order, as you could say.
So that a man can lead her.
That's right.
Because if they're equal, then how would you ever lead?
That's right.
You couldn't. So that's why the Lord had to make her a weaker vessel so that you could lead her. Otherwise, she would try to lead you. You understand? Give me the next one I asked for. Come on.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
But I would have you know
Uh-huh.
that the head of every man is Christ.
Uh-huh. So now this is the order that the Bible sets for us. Now the head of a man is Christ, meaning what Christ taught is what we follow. We under the subjection of Christ. A lot of people, like I said, they claim to love the Lord. Everybody that you know say, oh, I'm a child of God, or I love Jesus. No, you don't. No, you don't. All of the sisters out here who got pictures of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X on their wall, they would have whored on Malcolm X quick. You don't have the substance to be able to be with a man like Malcolm X. You couldn't do it. You couldn't control yourself from having Daquan come over when Malcolm X is all the way in New York for a month. You wouldn't have the substance to be able to hold yourself when Martin Luther King is out in Washington, D.C. for a month doing the work that he feels like he has to do. A lot of us, we claim to love things, but in actuality, you don't. Christ checked the hell out of the disciples, man. Christ told Mark and Luke when they hopped off of a ship, he said, get your things and follow me. And I think it was Luke. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But one of the disciples told Christ that his father had just died. And he wanted 7 days to go and bury his father and mourn his father. What Christ tell him to do?
Let the dead bury the dead.
He said, come on. He said, come on with me and follow me. Don't bury your father. You understand? A lot of you would have said, who the hell that nigga think he talking to? You mad that your husband tell you to do some laundry. Imagine Christ say, you ain't burying your father. Come on. Was it Matthew? No sweat. Imagine Christ say that you can't bury your father. You understand? When Peter said was telling Christ to not that he wasn't going to let the Romans take him to be crucified, what Christ say? Christ said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." He called him a devil. His own nigga, his own brother, his disciple. He checked him. Why? Because it was offensive that Peter would think that by his words that he would ever not follow out the Lord's duty or order. You understand? And a lot of you brothers, you're gonna face with this from your women. And you better be strong in that day. Because it's gonna be one of them days where you about to go to camp and your woman, she gonna try to do that jerk chicken persuasion on you. She's gonna say, "Baby, why don't you just stay home?" Right? But you better take that like an insult. You better take that like an insult because that's what it is. Now, she's a woman. She gonna do what she gonna do. She gonna try to get her man, as she should. She gonna get her man. But you as a brother, you got to be strong. You got to be strong enough to be unwaverable by her, unpersuaded by her beauty and her ways. You understand? You got to say, woman, don't ever try to get me to not go to camp with my brothers. Don't ever try to persuade me to disobey the Lord. Don't ever try to do that. That's why in the book of Job, when his woman said you should curse God and die, when Job was putting boils all over his body, what did Job tell his wife? He said, "You speak as the foolish women do, because you a fool, thinking that I'm going to listen to you and not do the work of the Lord." You understand? You got to be strong in that, and you got to be a man in that. And as a woman, you got to allow your man to be a man. You got to look at him and say, "Damn, I might need to shut my foolish mouth up and go in the kitchen or go in the room or go somewhere else and let my husband go war. Let my husband go battle and go fight. Let my husband go be a soldier." You understand? Let him go stand for something instead of dying on the streets because of a color. Let him go fight and die doing something that's righteous instead of dying in the streets because he lived on a block, on the wrong block, or he grew up on the wrong avenue. You understand? Or he just caught up doing something dumb. You should bask in the glory that the Lord sent you a man that actually goes out and teaches brothers to not eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, to not smoke weed, to not be drug dealers, to not be child molesters and homosexuals. Out of all of the child molestation that's happening around us. What's that pastor's name again? That just got arrested in Durham? I forget his name, man. It ain't worth remembering. You understand? Like we see it right in our own city. Molesting 14-year-old boys. You shouldn't hate your husband that coming to the truth and do the work of the Lord, man. You should love him for that. You understand? And as a woman that's coming to the truth, you should love her for that. You got a woman that's coming to class and wrapping her head up and cooking for the brothers. You better honor that sister, man. You understand? What is it? Shabakwana? A woman that's worthy of praise? You better praise that woman, man. Praise her for the things that she do. Sisters bringing food to the classes so brothers can eat. Sisters cooking for the feast, sweating and slaving. Sisters getting ready. They clipping up right now, getting ready to cook for the feast of unleavened bread and the Passover that's held in Raleigh, North Carolina this year, April 1st, man. They getting ready to do that. You got to praise them sisters, man. Hold on. You gotta give praise to them sisters, man, because they don't have to do that. And it's very hard. It's a very hard thing for a woman to come in here and be in the truth. It's a very hard thing for a woman to accept that sex is marriage. You understand? It's very hard. Just like it's hard for brothers to come in here and stop selling drugs, to stop smoking weed, and to actually serve the Lord. Because it's easy to be in a Christian church. It's easy to do that. It's easy to go be in a Muslim mosque or Egyptology or whatever other religion that you want to be in, because you could do whatever you want. I remember I was in Egypt, what was it? The Al Society for a minute. And I remember it was a couple things. When I grew up, I remember asking about this dude who would dance in the middle of the floor. And I remember asking, I'm like, "Yo, what happened to that dude?" And I remember finding out that he was a gay man. And I was like, "Damn, you had me in there?" And I was like, "What?" And I remember there was this other sister named Sister Muna. And I remember going to her house to get my dreadlocks retwisted, which is a sin against the law. Of course, we can't have dreadlocks in the truth, being that's not our custom. But I remember getting my dreadlocks retwisted, and I remember asking my nana after we left. I was like, I had to be about 13, 14. I'm asking, I'm like, and I didn't want to ask her. I felt uncomfortable. But I'm like, didn't it smell like weed in her house? Now, mind you, remember, as a youngin', I'm looking at these people like, yo, these is the people. These are the ones. These are the goddesses in the Heracahooties and the Imhoteps. I remember looking up to them like that. I did. And some of them were good people. You understand? Which is why I feel sorry for those who are actually sincere about what they do. But then because the gate was so wide, because most things were allowed inside of there, I remember asking my grandma, so what was that about? And my nana, she told me, she said, well, a couple of the people in the group believe that if they get together and smoke enough weed, that they will enter into the extraterrestrial state. And I remember looking at her like, this is some nonsense. As a 13-year-old. At 13, I knew that was retarded. That was like, you mean high? Because that's all they're going to get is high. That's it. You understand? And after all of the drug addiction and the brothers that I know was getting arrested for selling weed and doing drugs, I remember looking at them like, damn, that's the example that you set? That's what you're supposed to be godly? And you smoking? I remember there's a brother in Raleigh not too long ago who got shot. You understand? Who had a what you call it? Not a dime bag, but I done been out the world so long, I done forgot. A quarter. He had a quarter of weed in his pocket. He dead over a quarter of weed. You understand? And so why would we be doing this? You understand? And that's what we have to come out of. We have to come out of those lies, these things that we've been taught since our youth that were correct, because it's not correct. The Christian church is not correct, man. What they teach in the Christian church is white supremacy, nothing else. I don't care how you put it, how you try to spin it. Every time you go in a Christian church, when they sing and dance and praise hallelujah, they only praise in the defeat of your people and the conquering of another. That's it. What are you happy for? You praising the Lord for what? Because your people is on drugs? Your people is homeless? Our relationships don't work. We got men and women who murdering each other, that's married to each other, beating each other up. People looking at what's that blue character name? Blueface. And what's the other? Blueface and the Christian Rock. We looking at that like entertainment when it's sickening, man. It's sad. It's sad because when are we gonna ever stop being selfish, man? When are we gonna ever stop thinking that everything is about ourselves? You know why they beat each other? Because they selfish, man. And a lot of us, we have kids and we selfish. You arguing, you fight in front of your kids, and you don't ever think to choose the children instead of your own selfish desires. You arguing with your rib because of some dumb stuff, some dumminess, man. I just made that up. Somebody market that, put that on a shirt. Some dumminess, man. And your child is crying, screaming her heart out because she want mommy and daddy to stop. And you such a selfish bastard that you continue to fight instead of consoling your child. That's something that we was taught by our Christian parents. That's the lifestyle that we was brought into. That's it. We weren't taught to choose the children first. We weren't taught to stay with that husband so that child can have a mother and a father, regardless of what you think is so, regardless of the reason you think that you need to leave him. You think that you should leave your husband. Why? Because he make you unhappy? Because you unhappy? Nigga, grow up. What the hell is being happy? We dying before 21 in America. We leading in AIDS and HIV. We ain't got no jobs. We poor. Our relationships ain't working out any damn way. What the hell is being happy in here for us? There ain't no being happy. There's only death, drug addiction, prison, and being a homosexual. That's it. What else do we have? And at one point, are we going to understand that life is about war, and it's a fight that the Lord has ordered you to win? And everything about that is you fighting against yourself. You fighting against yourself to want to sell drugs. You fighting that demon that tells you got to smoke weed. You fighting that demon that tells you I got to leave my husband because he ain't did this and he ain't do that. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to stay with this man forever because God said so. Because you the idiot that laid with him. You the dummy. You the one. He ain't put no gun to your head and said, open them legs. He ain't do that. You thought that he was special when you had sex with him. Well, you're going to have to keep that special one for the rest of your life. And brothers the same way. You want to get rid of that woman because what? She mean? She a little rough around the edges? You understand? Then I'll give you one more scenario before we clip it up. A relationship in the UPK and a relationship in the world is on this wise. One is a vehicle. Both are vehicles. And both of these vehicles are destroyed. They messed up. Both of the vehicles got flat tires. The alternator is messed up. The windows won't roll down. The window regulator jammed on the passenger side and on the driver's side rear window. The oil is leaking. I mean, the engine light is on. All the heating and cooling is off. The oil need to be changed. Both of these vehicles are messed up, and these are your relationships. Well, the one in the world, it comes with a button. And if you press that button, you can get out that vehicle. You can get out and go get a new vehicle. You can go to Carvana.com and you can search on the internet for another vehicle that might be to your liking. You can get a bicycle. You can walk. You can do whatever you want to do. But in the vehicle and the truth, it does not have that button. Our relationships do not come with that button. And so because it does not come with that button, what does that mean for that vehicle? Raise your hand if you want to answer. Hold on. Who else want to answer? Raise your hand. You good? None of the young men want to take a shot? Come on. Young man right here. You got that's it. That's it. Anybody else want to give another add to it?
Lucky, sir.
Come on, let the young man here. I'm gonna get you, trooper.
You gotta fix it.
Anybody else? They hitting it. They jamming that nail in there. Y'all hitting it. And what you had?
Suffer alone.
Huh?
Suffer alone.
All of those things. Get them a hand, man. All of those things, man. You have no choice but to make that car go from point A to point B. However you do it. You understand? And maybe we can't fix the car. Well, you better get that broad out and walk. But either way, you're going to have to stay in that marriage. You're going to have to stay in that relationship. And now you can fix it. You can go to counsel. You understand? You can talk to each other. You can come into the school and learn how to have compassion on your woman. You understand? You can learn how to not be so heavy. Because you're a man, you do push-ups every damn day. You think that you can just brolic her to death. Like she just gonna see your muscles and think that means stop. Women don't work that way out. It don't work. You could be the biggest nigga in the world. She is going to try you. So you're gonna have to learn how to deal with her. You understand? You're gonna have to learn how to talk to her. You're gonna have to learn how to walk away. You're gonna have to learn how to say, no sweat. Do what you do. You're gonna have to learn how to call for counsel. You're gonna have to learn how to call your brother and say, Salaki Tabawan, I gotta come to your crib. Can I sleep on your couch? Because she tripping. You have to learn how to do those things. And sisters the same way. You're gonna have to learn how to lean on your sisters. Don't lean on your women, the women in the world who don't know how to have marriages. Lean on the women that serve the Lord. Call them up. You understand? You need somebody to talk to. You need a friend that you can confide into. Call her so that she could tell you back crazy and you wrong. So she could tell you that. And so you can say, you know what, damn, you might be right. I am crazy. I know y'all laughing, but I know y'all have done that before. I know you sisters have been in a relationship, done been mad, and then somebody tell you, you're wrong, right? You like, I know, but I'm just crazy. You did it before. But now you got to learn to fight those things and to change them so that our relationships can work. What time we got? I'm way over the time. Let me see if I could get one more and then we're gonna end it. Give me prop. Which one I want, man? Give me Ecclesiasticus 26 and verse 13. We gonna end here. I rock like, no, go ahead, go for 20 more minutes. Can't. And in the relationships and the truth, man, is a beautiful thing, man. Like for a sister to come in here and find a man that serves the Lord in the Israelite school of UPK, like you got to think about what you buying with that decision. You no longer are just with a man that's in the world that, if he decides to beat on you, that's up to him. If he decides to do this, like women always say, I'm gonna get my brothers and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Like, why you got, Why we live that life? But imagine having a man in here that if he ever thought to put hands on you, he got a call from General Hyman coming. Like, I know y'all probably don't know who General Hyman is, but you don't want to know him. I'll say that much. But the point is this, but having a man in the truth is having a man who actually answers to someone higher than himself. So he doesn't just live like his life on his own, on his own standard or his own accord. He live a life where all of us, we are accountable for each other. Like Tabawan can't, like Lawayah can't call me and tell me this brother done went upside his ribs head. That cannot happen. This brother right here, Lord Allah, you understand, when he get all 16 of his wives right here, this little young brother right here, y'all can take a look at him right here, because he real strong. Look, he try to hide it in. He gonna have 26 ribs one day in a second. But he can't call me, or one of his ribs can't call me and say, oh, so-and-so done did this and hurt me or did this, that, and the third, because he gonna have to account for his actions. And that's the beauty of being in the truth. And same thing with sisters. You understand? A sister can't do things like call the police on her husband. And in the UPK, we consider that an attempted murder. You can't do that in here. You understand? Do not call the police on you. Now, let me clarify this. If your husband has a weapon, a gun, and he's threatening to shoot everybody in the house, call the police. If he has a knife and he's threatening to stab you, call the police. If he is beating on you senselessly and you're in fear of your life, call the police. But if you're mad because he took your phone, do not call the police. That's attempted murder. You would be wrong in doing that. You understand? You mad because you arguing because he came home late last night and you call the police, that's attempted murder. You want him to just get out the house because you upset and you call the police, that's attempted murder. Do not do that. You understand? Better call General Muhammad for counsel. Who got the scripture I got? Come on.
Ecclesiasticus. Verse 26.
Verse 13.
26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband. The way that she moves, the way that she conducts herself, her smoothness, you understand? It delighteth her. It makes us happy, right? Keep going.
And her discretion will fatten his bones.
And her discretion will fatten his bones, right? When a person's bones is fat, they usually, or they synonymous with them being what? Very healthy. They like fed. They like royalty. They big fat, just sitting down. They ain't got to work. They ain't got to sweat and do push-ups to be an NBA player. They could just sit back and do nothing. You understand? A good wife would do that to you. You understand? You start to get some weight on your body because you delighted in her ways. You ain't worried about nothing. You understand? Imagine how many brothers we know done died or fought over a woman. I know I done been in shootouts over my women. I was crazy, but it was still over a woman. I've done it. And so I know that there's many of brothers that done died over women. But now you get a woman in the truth and you don't got to worry about dying because of some man. You don't got to worry about what nigga I'm going to kill if I let her go to the club. You don't got to do that because she will bring glory to your name. She ain't the type of woman that you got to put a leash on. She ain't the type of woman you got to say, no, you can't do nothing. She the type of woman you can say, oh, go ahead, go. Go with Sister Lawayah. They go out to the club. And when a brother come up to them sisters and say, damn, ma, y'all fine as hell. Let me buy y'all a drink. They say, I got a husband. And my husband's name is Officer Tabawan, and he an officer of 1,000 in the Israelite school of UPK. And if you ain't one West, then I don't got nothing to say to you. And they gonna be standing there like, and don't let her hit her with the salute. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Allah Thaba Hashem Yahweh Shah. And she look at him like, he's like, what the hell is that? Shalom. And now they like, what the fuck? What the hell she just said? Bringing glory to this brother name. Now when she come back and she tell the story, all he gonna do is just get cheesy as hell. He gonna smile. He gonna be like, that's why I picked you. Because now these niggas know. You understand? And then the brothers are gonna see her and they gonna be flabbergasted. They gonna say, what? What kind of woman is this? She ain't a hoe. Where you get that at? And the Lord allowed, they're gonna be sitting in these seats trying to get one they damn self. You understand? Keep reading. Come on. Keep going.
14. A silent and loving woman is a gift from the Lord.
A silent and loving woman is a gift from the Lord. You don't always have to be heard. One of the things that brothers learn coming into the truth, one of the first things you do is learning how to shemai. Just learning that you don't always have to talk. You understand? And that's in here for the men above you. But as a sister for the men above you and your husbands, you got to learn the same thing. You don't always have to be heard. You don't always have to be heard. You got to get that thing out of your head that makes you think that if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. You don't got to say it. You don't have to. You can relax. You can just say nothing. You understand? Just like brothers can come here. I know you want to speak. I know the Trooper Hawan, he ready. Trooper Hawan is ready to pass that officer's test so he can get blazing, and he going to do it in due time. You understand? But when you coming into the truth, you learning to shed yourself with the world. So sometimes you got to just can't say nothing. That's why until you pass your officer's test, you can't teach. You understand? Keep reading.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
You got a woman that listens to you up, you give her the world. You got a woman who you say, babe, sit down, let me teach you. Look, go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 19. What's this talking about? And she can sit down and learn from you. And then she starts to apply it to her life. You tell a woman, babe, I'm tired of paying off Captain your Garwap $225 for garments. Can you learn how to make garments? And she get up in there and she put her foot in it. She put her brick down. I just learned how to sew. I just made you a garment. Now I'm selling garment like that, brothers. Barakataya Hawawaya Hawashah for a woman like that. You understand? You ain't gonna find that in the Christian church. You ain't gonna get that. But a woman that's well instructed, keep going.
A shamefaced and faithful woman.
A shamefaced, someone who's not prideful, someone who doesn't think that she has to walk with a head high. Of course, America teaches our women that they have to have pride. You know why America teaches black women that they have to have pride? I want to know if any sister can get it. Why does America teach black women that you have to have pride and no shame about yourself and be prideful and walk and stand up tall and strong as black women? Come. Close. That's true, right? If you read the Willie Lynch letter, right, he definitely destroyed us, making a woman forced to have to step up into the manly role to be the independent of a black man. But why are we being taught this now? Both of you are correct, but it's because they destroyed you in the first place. They rebuilding you something. It's like they took the water out of your jug and now they filling it with what they want to fill it. So they took what you were and now they're telling you, be a single lady. All my single ladies, like, what the hell is that? Be an independent woman. What is that?
Hey, so like
you understand? Come on.
So like you said, what you're saying is so heavy. It's like in the world, it's like the quota is for a woman to be single with no children to be successful. When it's like that's not correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's out of order.
That's nonsense. You understand that the royal king and queen of England, they got children. They successful somehow. I don't see why you can't do it. You understand? Keep reading. Finish this last one.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. And her content mind. Her content mind cannot be valued.
Her content mind cannot be valued. When you got a woman who is content, she is content with the man that she sleeps with. She's content with the life that she lives. She's content knowing that this is my Lord, that we do not eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, that we don't celebrate Christmas, that we don't celebrate the 4th of July. We don't whore ourselves out on stripper poles and things like that. When you got a woman that is content, you understand, she ain't double-minded and one day she this way and the next day she that way. That is a woman that you got to hold on to. You understand? You got to treat her right. You got to treat her right according to the Bible. Don't treat her right like according to the Christian church. The Christian church, you do whatever to that woman. You understand? And as long as you got money, I guess it's okay. And here you treat her right even when she don't have money. And here you treat her right when she don't have nothing. You understand? Not even some damn sense. You still got to treat her right. And as a woman, you treat that husband right. You don't look at a man and think that the only way that a man can have love is if he has a job. Don't do that. Don't look at a man and say the only way he can have love is if he has a lot of money. Don't do that. Because then how would you ever love your children? How you gonna find love for them? They don't got no money. They don't got nothing they can offer you, but somehow you still find the love you find it in yourself to love them. Well, if you could do that, then you could love that brother. You could love that brother when he has nothing. Because even if you try to give it a brother while he has everything, what happens when he loses it? What happens when he don't have money no more? He don't have a job anymore. Then what you gonna do? You gonna leave him? I hope not. You understand? You should stay with that brother. And that is what the Bible teaches us, man. To love one another, to have compassion with one another, empathy on one another, so that our children can be raised in households that are together. Without this, we are going to continuously build up generations of children who don't have parents, who don't have fathers, who don't have mothers that love each other. But you know what they always going to have? They always going to have Day on the corner. Day ain't going nowhere. That cocaine and that Christianity, that Islam, all of that nonsense that plagues our people ain't going nowhere. But this is something that has to be born in the earth again. You understand? Which is why it's very important for all of you brothers and sisters continuously coming to these classes. You understand? Under the ISUPK. You understand? Under Commander General Yohana. Ask your questions. You understand? Take the counsel, apply it to your lives. And with that, I'm passing the class over to Priest and Officer Thabawan.
ISUPK security announcements. We had an ISUPK started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is the commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation will, of course, be the Feast of Hanukkah. That's going down December 17th. It'll be right here in the North Carolina area. It's going down in Charlotte, so in the Kannapolis School. If you need the address, just give it one of the brothers, one of the Ottawans, and they'll tell you what the address is. Also, if you want to bring any food items, just let us know as well so we can get that menu together. So December 17th, Hanukkah in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's like Kannapolis, North Carolina. Also, let's make sure everybody knows that the Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down. 54th annual Passover is actually going down right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're in Durham, but we got events going to be happening in Durham, but the main Passover is going down in Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? So make all your preparations for that. You know what I mean? If you live kind of far, whatever, get your hotel rooms together, Airbnbs and all of that. Get them garments together. Get in contact with Captain Yagarwap for garments, headpieces. You know what I'm saying? Just prepare for that. You know what I mean? We got some time, but you want to get the ball rolling on it early. So April 1st is the date for the Passover. Lord's 54th annual Passover. All right. Want to remind Akim and Akwathin to check on social media. So there's isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. Last but not least, if a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, imadium, which means to stand.